Hello and welcome everybody to a new video. Today I'm going to be doing something a little bit different to the other videos I've made in terms of the sort of content I'll be showing you, although it is still Gran Turismo 7. And the reason why I'm making a video like this, if you've read the title, it'll probably be something along the lines of what to do if you're bored in GT7 or if you ran out of stuff to do with GT7. Well, I've got a great idea, right? So the game basically, the basic premise of the game is collect a ton of cars, right? You do races over and over and over and over again to collect as many cars as you can. That's just about what everybody does at this point, and it gets boring after a while, repeating the same race 100, 200, 300 times to purchase one $27 million piece of crap that you're going to drive once, yeah. So I've got a great idea. You get a random number generator on your phone, your iPad, whatever it is, something that can give you a random number generator. Maybe you have an app for it or something. And then you put in as maximum number, whatever number of cars you have, and minimum number 1, yeah? And then you press the random number generator and choose whatever car is shown here. But that's not all. Okay, I've clicked my random number generator, it says 115. 115, yeah, I should probably do 115. I'm just gonna quickly work out where 115 is. That is 115, yes. So that's my 115th car in this list, right? It's got sports off tires and all this tuning I've done, so it's a pretty cool car, right? And that's not all you do. So there's 34 tracks in the game, yeah? So you get you randomly generate whatever number it comes up with. So there's 34 different track options there are in here, because when this loads there is 10 here, 15 here, and 9 here, and I've clicked my random number generator, which you can't see, but it says 27, so that is already 25, which means it'll be the second track on this list, which is Suzuka, right? So now we've gone to Suzuka, and then you've got two options. So you've probably got the idea by now. You press the random number generator. Mine says 2, so we're using the East course. Set it to whatever laps you want. Generally, you want to start at the back of the grid. And a few other things you might want to modify is you probably want vehicle damage on heavy. It makes things more interesting, right? And then you go like this, and you choose, I don't know, whatever time you want. Although you can randomly generate that as well. So what I'm going to do, there's 8 time options. So I'm going to put that in the generator as well. It says 3. So late morning, yeah. And if you want custom weather, you just put it on random. You turn the AI up to professional, and then the other thing you do is you randomly choose cars. Now I'm probably going to skip through this part because it'll take a really long time, or a relatively long time. It doesn't take too long, maybe 5 minutes, bit less, bit more, to randomly generate each car. So you put 157 or however many cars you have in your random number generator, and then you just click it and go to whatever number it is, you know? And you do that. I'll probably fast forward this part, so yeah. And I'm back. So I've randomly chosen all the cars. You will see them when the load screen finishes, because I could show them here, but I think it's I think it is more efficient to show them here. So these are all the random cars that I got from the random number generator. I'll show you, I'll probably have a timestamp up. No, not a timestamp. Like a time, I'll show the time that it took me, because I'll be able to go back through the video when I was editing and just see how much time it took me to randomly generate all these vehicles into this list. So you know how much time you're probably going to feel like you've wasted doing this. But trust me, it's a lot of fun most of the time, with everything being completely random. You never really know what's going to happen. Another really cool thing is I think it would have been more fun to do it because there's a lot of fun to do it on oval tracks, but I want to try it on this track since, well, this is what the random generator generated. But oval tracks are a lot of fun, especially what's the it's not Blue Moon Bay Speedway, it's not Daytona, it's the other American tiny speedway. And it's not High Speed Ring. It's a tiny oval circuit that I don't remember the name of. If you turn on vehicle damage, you go onto that, and the pit lane is crazy. Another thing that I think is a lot of fun is playing the game without HUD. It also makes it a lot more fun, a bit more challenge for this sort of event. but it's a lot of fun, big lot of fun. And we have the V8 power of a American Corvette. And plus you get to see the really cool interior of a lot of these cars. I'm just gonna like light up the rear wheels, who cares? And holy shit, this thing pulls a lot of power down when you get grip though. And you'll probably notice I look back a lot for no reason. Yeah, that's just habit. The only time I don't do that is online races, because for some reason when I concentrate extremely, I don't do that. But at any other time, whoa, that was whatever the heck that was driving up next to me. There's a Taycan ahead of me, which is the complete opposite of what I'm driving. But even though it's the complete opposite, still cool, because that's like the point of a random generator. All these cars are completely random. If you select vehicles as random on the Gran Turismo list, and you just select that as random, they always appear to be roughly the same vehicles, and plus all of them have no modifications as well. All these vehicles here, they will have modification. Plus, you don't have to do this without HUD. You can do it with HUD if you want. I just prefer usually driving without HUD unless I'm doing something serious. This is not serious. This is just random fun. Also, I don't think I set enough laps. I think I set like 4 laps. So I might do another like oval race after this one. Whoa. To really show how much fun this can be. But as you can see, the cars in the field really spread apart. But that's another thing that makes it really fun. Like especially on some shorter tracks, you can be absolutely flying, overtaking some really slow car, and then get your doors blown off by some crazy Le Mans car that's just flying past you like a Vision Gran Turismo car. That's a lot of fun. Because even if you don't win, it doesn't bother you. That's another great thing. Whoa. I actually thought he was going to drive into me then. Luckily, the AI are better than the GT online players at the moment. Actually, I can't really talk. I've done that before. Even during a video, I've ran into the back of somebody's car because apparently my braking zone was completely out. But I don't do that too often. Not as often as I think some other people do. Considering I've reached, I think I'm in S rank for what's it called? Sportsmanship rating, and B rank for driver rating. So maybe that's a good indicator that I'm not the biggest screw up in the world when it comes to braking too late and ramming into the back of somebody with an S class sportsmanship rating. Like, I think I'm doing alright in that respect. This car is a lot of fun to drive. I don't know if I'm in the lead, I wouldn't have a clue, but I would assume that there's probably some crazy Le Mans car ahead of me, or he's had to pit in and then he's going to fly past me at some later point, but I won't have a clue. That's the other crazy thing about not having a HUD. You have absolutely no idea who anybody else is. You don't have to do it without a HUD, and of course you can select any results. Like, you can randomly generate whatever results you want, because of course it's entirely up to you. But this is just a good suggestion on what to do when you're generally bored in this game. And it's probably more fun to do it on tracks where it can rain heavily. I don't know if it can on this track, but if it can, it probably will, because the sky is looking very dimly lit, very dark and gloomy looking. But this car is also a lot of fun, all the crazy oversteer. But of course, whoa, that's a bit too much oversteer, and then I've driven off the track. But the power band on this thing and everything like that makes this car a lot of fun to drive as well. This is basically a maximum upgraded C4 Corvette with sports tires is basically what I'm driving. And see, maybe I'm lapping people, or those people are ahead of me. I think I'm lapping them. I think some of those are K cars. Oh no, the race is finished because I only set 4 laps. See, that was a basic premise of how the race would work, but I'll give you a better insight to how it would work by, instead of doing 4 laps, I do something crazy. I go into the oval circuit I was speaking of before. But you can see just then in that little slideshow before I skipped it, I shouldn't have done that, but I did. It's just habit to skip the replay. But, okay, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to change to a different car again, which it says will be vehicle 91. Okay. So, but this is the track. This is North Isle Speedway. Is that what it's called? Yeah. This is a really, really fun track, and I will show you why. I'll do 15 laps, and I'll show you exactly why I think this is great fun, this track. Especially with vehicle damage on, because it turns into absolute chaos and just makes it absurd. How many options do we have here for weather? 11? That's a lot of options. That's more than I thought I'd have. But we got sunrise because I got 3. I don't remember what vehicle the game told me to get. I think I'd said it, but I don't remember what it was. So, randomly generated vehicle. It says vehicle 70. Oh, I have to... Oh my god, I have to change it on the... Bro. That's so bothersome. This is the most bothersome thing. I'll probably... Yeah. This is the most bothersome thing about this game. You can't change vehicles whenever you want. You gotta go to the garage to change the vehicle. And the only good thing I see about that is that if your vehicle needs an oil change, you can see it immediately, but mine's perfectly fine. So now we're gonna go to vehicle 70. That's vehicle 70 there, the Porsche 911 GT3. And this has got a crap ton of tuning done to it. I think I was trying to turn it into a wheelie drag car kind of thing, but that never really worked. So I think this is the track configuration, if I did check correctly just then. But anyway, I'll go back to what I was going to do before I realized that the game doesn't have a very good UI. Yeah, this is the most inefficient UI I think I've seen in just about any Gran Turismo game. Because in custom races, you used to be able to, when you enter custom race, it would give you your selection of cars. Not, yeah, you have your selection, you select the car you want, and then you go in the custom race. That's never how it's worked before, I think, in any Gran Turismo game. So, I don't think it's ever been this bad, the UI. Anyway, I think it was sunrise before, so I'm just going to set it like that, like I did before. I always turn off correct vehicle after wall collision, because that's just, I don't know, I don't like it. I don't like it. If you crash into a wall, you better be punished for that. If you're dumb enough to smash straight into a wall head on, so you have to actually reverse out. Yeah. Anyway, I'm going to randomly generate some more cars, so this part will probably be skipped as well. And I am back. Yes, I am. Should I do 15 or 20 laps? I think 15 will be good as a demonstration sort of thing, so I can show you all exactly how this is. So, you want to see the randomly generated vehicles this time? Yeah, all of these things. Nothing too interesting. I think we need at least one really fast car. So what do you think we should swap out? Something boring. What is really boring, preferably in the middle of the field? I think the SLS, or no, I'll swap out instead. I'll swap out the Supra. I think the Supra is a pretty boring car to race against everything else. We need something really fast though. Maybe we'll try out the new car against these. Since it's got hybrid and all that stuff, it might be interesting-ish. I don't know, it's really fast, it'll be fun. And I want to see something a lot faster than everything else, just to really see how it performs. Plus, you'll really see why this track is so much fun. Yeah, you'll most definitely see why this track is so much fun once we really get racing. And you'll see. Because you'll notice it probably quite quickly in the first 2 or 3 laps. Why this is going to be actual chaos. Not only it's a short track where cars are moving at completely different speeds very quickly, and some very slowly, like for example, if I go down here, this very slowly, slower than a K car, and some things moving very quickly, like the new GR010 hybrids. But look at the difference in cars, they're all going down there. Anyway, I'm actually going to start the race this time. How about that? Yeah. And this is going to be brilliant, this. Wow! Grip. And vehicle damage is on. It's probably advised that you have vehicle damage on to make it more crazy for just about everything. Because you'll see, especially on tracks like this, why having vehicle damage on is so crazy. You'll see. In the first couple of laps, you'll realize exactly what I mean. Whoa, this thing, the front of it's very, very light, so it understeers actually, not even because like it is actually technically because it hasn't got grip, but it understeers because the front is literally lifting off the ground. Not that it's got too much weight in the front, but that the whole front of the car is lifting. especially under acceleration. And as you can see, there's already blue flags out, so... And I'm actually somehow keeping pace with that Le Mans car until it reached the straight. It's entered the pit lane, so it's been damaged. But you'll see how chaotic this race gets as we continue. Now, best to avoid the cars when you got vehicle damage on, but you'll see why it's so chaotic. I'm very surprised the chaos has not actually started, because you'll see what it is. Because other than one mild incident, nothing that bad happened. Imagine this game with vehicle damage, though. Now that would be mad. Still nothing. You'll know what it is when you see it. It's pretty chaotic. It's the way the pit lane works on this track. Oh, I've damaged the car, haven't I? No, it appears to still be handling fine. Maybe I've damaged the front splitter, but at the same time, this thing had no aero on the front anyway, as it was. Oh, and you can hear the power of this Porsche. What is it, a flat 6? Yeah, it is a flat 6. I don't know if the... Whoa. The car decided to kick out. I actually think it's because I ran into the Dodge that also just ran into the wall. But what usually happens... Oh, no. That's definitely damaged the car. Yeah, it's big time damaged the car. I'm going to actually pit in for that. I'll pit in for that. Now, the problem with pitting in with no HUD... Now, this is a huge problem. You get nothing. And it's so stupid. You get absolutely nothing. So what I usually do is once the car... I'm assuming when I press X, that skips tires. But we're going to wait for the car to show up. And then I think it put more fuel in. So if you press X twice, it skips tires and fuel, but I think they just repaired the car. And this is another problem I have. This pit lane. How do you... Yeah, what is this called? The real driving simulator? God dang it, man. That's not what a real driving simulator should do. There's a few things about the real driving simulator that isn't a real driving simulator. It's still a lot of fun though. It's a very accessible semi-sim. It's probably the closest thing to a sim racing game you can play on controller and be accessible to just about any skill level. And anybody who's played any games like this, or no racing games at all even, this is probably a pretty good starter because it gives you information on an arcade and a sim racing vehicle styles, you know? Because the game isn't perfect in its simulation sense, and a lot of the things are very arcadey, but it shows enough of a simulation part to this game. Whoa, that's one of the big problems with the pit lane, is that when people enter, they enter really late, and they exit on a huge angle, and they exit very quickly, which means you're going to be dodging cars. I don't know why it hasn't happened so often during this race, but it usually happens all the time. Yes, like that. Which you might think is really bad, but usually I don't crash into them. Actually, is the car damaged? Imagine if it wasn't damaged. I'm just going to... Hold up. Yeah, it's definitely damaged. It doesn't feel too bad, though. So I think I could continue driving on this. I might actually continue driving like this. It doesn't feel too bad, but it is pulling to one side slightly. But since the straights on this track are not very long and it's pulling the same way the track goes, it's actually not too bad. I actually feel like I could race with this. I'm assuming the front aerodynamics is stuff, which means you get less downforce and more drag. But anyway, that was a very basic interpretation of how this is, and the completely random racing this can bring. And I won somehow with a pit stop, and I won. And the really fast hypercar is 11th. Usually with more laps, it's a lot more fun, it's a lot more interesting, and somehow I got a clean race bonus while crashing into somebody. I'm not going to complain. But usually, it's to more take a break from, you know, serious racing. Like if you're going to online racing, which is a lot of fun. But let's say you're fed up with all the GT Sport players online. I mean, GT, yeah, the people that have migrated from Forza Horizon to Gran Turismo. The people that have migrated and just use you as brakes on the racetrack, you know? Just smash straight in the back of your car, throw you off, especially the first corner at Monza. Absolute chaos. But as you can tell, randomly generating everything is quite fun, quite interesting, and completely random every single time, which I think makes it pretty great, I think, overall. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to end the video here, and I'm just going to say, I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, remember to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.